Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Spring is here, and for sure this time. The sun is shining, it's a beautiful weather out there. It's warmer than freezing, which is a good sign. The birds are singing like crazy. I have a pot of tomato seeds germinating in my windowsill. So this is the real thing. So I'm in a good mood because it's beautiful out there, and I felt that it's time for my next video. Today I would like to talk about the 5 things that I did in order to raise my vibration. The first one is changing my diet. I used to like meat a lot, but I always loved animals. And I always said that it is so easy that I go to the supermarket and I buy my meat in neat packages. But if I had to kill my own meat, like my parents and grandparents did, then I'd probably be a vegetarian because I couldn't do it. And I thought how interesting that was. So this is how it happened. I love animals, and I saw on videos and I read about how terribly they are treated. I mean, these creatures are giving their lives so we can feed ourselves, and the least we can do is treat them with respect. But the way they are being raised is terrible. They are growing up on farms where life is unbearable. Basically, they are living in an animal Auschwitz, all of them. So I decided a couple of years ago that I do not want to support this industry, and I would like to be healthier and feel better. So I decided that one day I would like to be a vegetarian. And I left it at that because I learned already that if I want to quit something called turkey, it doesn't work. And it's so hard and I struggle. So instead, what I did was I made a decision and I accepted it, and I just let nature take its course. And the interesting thing is that slowly I started to stop eating meat. I wanted it less and less. I stopped craving it, and I got to a point where I just didn't want to eat it. And I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to work at it. It just happened nice and smooth. So now I cook meat for my family because the other members of my family are still meat eaters. But every time I cook meat, I also stir fry vegetables with the meat. And so I eat the vegetables and the boys eat the meat. So this is how I became sort of a vegetarian. Not 100%, I still eat the occasional, bread with salami or ham and cheese sandwich, but it's a rare thing now, and I have no problem with it. So I feel good. I feel better than before. I have lots of energy, so far it's working out. The other thing I do to raise my vibration is exercise. I've always been a pretty active person. I work in a place where I cannot be not active. It's impossible. I work in a factory environment and we do a lot of running around. So it's not an exercise, but it's physical activity. So when I'm at home on the days when I'm off or when I have the time, I do an about 10 minutes exercise. Nothing serious, nothing major, but just something to keep my body loose and get a little movement, and I listen to some music. So basically it's a very pleasurable activity, and it doesn't take much time, doesn't take much effort, but it keeps me in good spirits and I believe in good health. The third thing that I do is I meditate. I used to do it before, and I stopped for a while and I started again. It's not an easy thing for me to do because I tend to be restless and my mind tends to wander and it's hard to put a leash on it, but I'm doing it and I'm working on it, and it can be an interesting exercise, meditating, because sometimes some great things would happen, which I already talked about in my previous videos. The interesting thing is that about 10 years ago, meditating was an adventure. I had so many exciting things happen to me, so many esoteric experience I had, so many things I've seen during meditation. And now it is different. Now it's a lot harder to get to the point where I actually see something, where I actually have visions. I really have to work at it. So I know that things have changed, and I have to learn to find the right frequency to receive this information, but I am working on it. So meditation quiets the mind, and it gives me a mental adventure when I see something interesting. So I feel that it's very good for me. The fourth thing I do, and I think it's one of the most important ones, I choose my thoughts. Negative thoughts can bring you down. Everybody knows that. Positive thoughts can lift you up. So I'm working on it to watch what I say, because I know that my body is listening. My body is listening, the universe is listening. Whatever I think and say goes out somewhere, and it has a reaction. So I try to stay away from negative thoughts and the negative thoughts of others. And that is not a difficult thing to do, because interestingly, as I was raising my vibration in the past couple of years, I started to notice that I'm beginning to get allergic to negative emotions and negative expressions around me. I can't stand being around negativity anymore. When I hear people complaining, I try to discourage them from continuing by hijacking the conversation, or like I try to do it not impolitely, but I try to move away from the negative talk and turn it into positive. I try to point things out to people that changes the point of view. So bottom line is no negativity, because it's not good for me, it's not good for you, and I feel so much better. And the thing is, after a while, I don't even have to work at it anymore. Now, as soon as I start saying something negative, this little voice in my head starts saying, hey, you're being negative, stop. So it's not voices, but it's an instinct that I know I'm doing it, and I hear myself doing it, and I stop myself doing it. So I'm doing well in that department. The last thing that I do to raise my vibration, and this is the easiest one and the greatest one, of course, it's being out in nature. Now, I say it's easiest, but also it's not that easy, because I live in Canada and it tends to be cold here many months a year. So I'm stuck in the house for a long time, because I don't really like the cold. And as strange as it may sound, I'm also allergic to cold. If cold hits my body and I'm exposed, even just my face, the wind blowing on my face for a long time, and it's very cold, I get hives. So it's not fun. So I like to travel. My husband and I do traveling in the summers, and whenever we can, we go out. Even if we just drive a half an hour out of the city, and we just go to a park or to go somewhere where we can hike. And when we are in a forest, when we are around water, because we love water. So that gives us the most pleasure. And if I can't go anywhere, I just go out to the deck. I have grass in my backyard, and I have some flowers and shrubs, and I'm growing some veggies. So I'm just sitting out there, and I enjoy the sight of all the greenery, and I enjoy the sounds of nature. We have lots of birds in the backyard. So I try to be as close to nature as possible. And because of all these 5 things, I feel that my life has improved greatly. My energy level improved greatly. I feel better. I feel positive most of the time. So I really feel that I shifted into high vibration. And I'm doing my best to keep myself there, doing these 5 things that I feel are very important. So what are you guys do to keep your vibration on a high level? I would love to hear about it. If you want to, just tell me, write me in the comment section. I wish you all a good day and enjoy the spring too, if your spring just starts, just like mine. I'll see you guys the next time. Goodbye.